Well, just to show you what I'm fishing with this morning, I've got a 10-foot Javier Garcia Salmon seeker, which is from memory 15 to 32 grams. Cracking rod. It's easily cast across to the bank here, and it's quite wide. I've got a spinning reel, which is an Aura S40, 7 bearings. I've used it for a few years, no problems. Cracking reel. And it's got about 30-pound braid on, and I'm just using a ball bearing, one of these. I don't know if you can see that, one of these, they got 2 ball bearings in, I think. They're really good. Don't normally get kinks in your line if you use one of them. And then below, then I've got mono, about 15 pound, which will be maximum, I think. And then I've got a flying seat with another swivel and a link on. Simple. So that's what we're doing. Fan casting. Spring salmon often will turn and follow a lure, so I think the important cast are the upstream cast, to be fair. But I will fan right across, maybe 10-15 metres, so it might take me 7 or 8 to cover this. To cover an area like this, I'll move down 5 or 6 metres and then do the same again, and hopefully we'll catch we'll meet up with a salmon coming up from the estuary. Well, it's now lunchtime. Sun's still shining, waiting for the rain to come. But it's lunchtime now, so we'll have a sandwich and then we'll have another couple of hours. You just got to keep positive. You never know, any time it could happen. So we're not far up from the estuary, so anything coming in, I think the high tide was quite early this morning, so you're just hoping that something sneaks you and is just sitting behind a rock somewhere. Who knows? We'll keep going and I'll get back to you this afternoon. Yeah, nice little brownie. Put it back. Look what we're after. Oh, there you go, son. There he goes. Oh, he's off. Away. Well, I fished from the standing stone where I started. It's quite dead on this side, so you're only like fishing the first third from the other bank and then to the middle, and then it dies off. But here it's starting to get more of a flow on this side, and you can see with the swells and the boils, there's a lot more rocks and boulders on this side where fish could lie behind. So I'm feeling more confident as I work down this well, if you want to call it a pool, it's like a massive long run. But it's fishing well. I'm landing within when I get it sorted out. I'm I'm landing within a couple of foot of that other edge of the bushes. In fact, sometimes I just about get in the bushes. I've got to be a bit careful. And then I'm just letting it swing round, flying fairly fast to start with, till it gets. Then once it gets into the flow, you can almost let it come around like a fly. I can feel it touching boulders as it comes round, so I know I'm deep enough. I'm not taking it over any fish's heads as such. And then you slow it right down as it comes round into this side, and this probably is where they'll follow it across and they'll take, hopefully, on this side. But the only thing that's wrong really is I went under a weather forecast. It's supposed to be freezing cold, blowing a gale, and a chance of rain, and it's absolutely red hot. I'm sweating. I've got long johns on. I've got more layers. But I'm really enjoying it, I know that. Just the chance. That's all you need. Just the chance. And there's your evidence of floods. It's got to be 6-8 foot above my head now. And that's it, I think it's an older. So we're apart from a couple of trout that, well, one I got out, one that I shook off. We haven't had any follows from salmon, or I've seen no splashes, salmon splashes, or any salmon movements. So it's beginning to look like the first day of this trip is going to be a salmon blank. But we've got a full day tomorrow, and then we've got half a day, or as long as I want to fish. I normally try and get home I normally set off back about late dinner time, early afternoon, so I'm not stuck in too much traffic. And then so we're still fishing well, still banging them boulders as it comes through. We just need one to be in our way. It'd be nice to see one, that would make me feel a little bit better. Maybe it's just a splash. If you salmon fish regularly, you can tell when a salmon moves. Not like any other fish, to be honest. Well, I don't think it is. So we're constantly changing the angle. I'm going to do this one more downstream. And then so I don't need to wind so much. Because the flow takes it, the flow makes the blade work. It's like a glorified mep spinner with a rubber tail. Nicknamed the Flying Condom. With a flying sea. There must have been maybe hundreds of thousands of salmon caught on them. There weren't thousands. Been very popular since probably, I don't know, maybe 80s, late 70s. But to be honest, I do like fishing with Toby type spoon lures and different things, but this is going upstream. But yes, it's not looking like we're going to be very successful today. It's probably maybe another 2 hours to fish yet, so there's still time. Might walk back to the car and have a quick cup of tea. and then work at an acquaintance, a friend of mine's rung me up, he's further down, so I'm going to go and have a chat with him. So hopefully we'll be back when we get one. Well, it's now 5 o'clock. Been fishing since 12 o'clock. Sun's going down. I've had a couple of trout. I've had a few little knocks that I think have been trout. No evidence of any salmon on this river at the moment, on this beat anyway. So I think I'm going to have maybe 20 more minutes and then walk back to the car and go to my digs, go to my accommodation and get something to eat. Because there doesn't seem to be any evidence of any salmon at the moment. Not that you always see them, but it's been a lovely day. Nothing like the forecast. But tomorrow I think it's going to be a different story. But yeah, it's great to be out, as I always say. Really enjoyed the day. So we'll probably see you on day 2 tomorrow. Well, it's second day of my trip up Borders. Couldn't be any different weather as it were forecast, to be honest. It's raining quite heavy. Forecast is for heavy rain for the next 2 or 3 hours, then more light rain, so hopefully it won't raise the river too much, but who knows. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to try and get down. I'm going to fish a Devon minnow with a paternoster weight. I'll just show you a little bit. So what we've got is we've got the main braid line to a three-way swivel, and then I've got a paternoster link which is a weak. It's knotted, so that should break rather than anything else. And we've got some modelling clay. Below that, another knot and split shot, a bead and a split shot, and so that's what we're going for. And then at the bottom end we have a Devon minnow. You can see that Devon minnow mounted up with a treble. So we're going to try and get right on the bottom and just move it around in the current, see if there's a very early springer in this pool. It will be early, to be honest. Normally April before everything moves into this pool. It's not quite April yet. So we'll see how we do. Fingers crossed we might get a fish. How much filming I do I'm not sure because of the rain, but we'll see. So it just comes round, feel it bouncing on the boulders as it comes round, and it comes to a bit of a stop just at this slack. Whether it's turning the Devon minnow, I'm not sure at that point. this downstream wind is really blowing the line. It's not very pleasant fishing weather, this. There you see the setup. Yeah, well, you can see that. So just lobbing it across, changing the length of the cast, obviously. Tightening a little bit, finger on the line, and then you can see the rod tip there, and it comes round, see it bouncing. You feel every boulder. Just a lucky guess the amount really. You've got to adjust it, take a little bit of modelling clay off, put some on. You want it to keep it moving, you don't want it constantly stopping. If it does stop, you just get a little bit of a lift for the rod tip and it goes again. And then it's just a question of, as was yesterday, finding a salmon, which is the hard part. These three-way swivels work quite well, this sort of fishing. It's a little bit longer throw this time. Tighten up. Keep it coming round again. And then what you want is a screaming pull. That's coming round lovely. Now and again I keep getting like definite plucks, like could be trout that. It's quite a big Devon minnow, but it could be trout. Or it could just be the rocks. Sometimes there's a bit of pressure builds up, then it moves quickly. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing, apart from getting wet. Well, that wind's just dropped a little bit at the moment. Well, it's just stopped raining now, so I can actually get the camera going again. I've fished for 3.5 hours in the rain. I've got off the Devon minnow and I'm now on fly sea again. Quite heavy, and this is a bit slow, this pull, so I can get quite low in the water. Still haven't seen anything. Haven't touched anything, but it's just nice to be out. Back's aching a bit. Probably something to do with the casting. The casting of the spinner. I don't know why I use my back, but it's aching, so I must be. So it's just a question of 2 or 3 steps down. I'm just up to the knees, but this is very deep on the other side. Some very big boulders in the middle. I've never actually got a salmon out of this pool. I did hook a springer and lost it, but I'm told that this does hold salmon at the tail of the pool, but like I say, I've said many times, it's probably a little bit early. But the rain stopped, so that's something to be pleased about. I just want the wind to reduce a little bit, and then well, it's not too bad. I've got the hand warmer lit in my pocket. You know, it's a charcoal hand warm. He liked the charcoal sticks, and so I just stopped for 10 minutes, get that in my hands and get the feeling back in my fingers. Well, I just had a follow from a salmon. In fact, it touched the spinner. I didn't hook it. I didn't realise it was a fish until I saw just after I lifted the spinner out. I saw the fish, and I realised that where I thought I'd just touched the bottom, I weren't touching the bottom. So there's definitely a springer, unless it's a kelp. I suppose it's still feasible it could be a kelp as early as this, but it looked about 8-10 pounds, something like that. So I've come out on the bank and I'm going to get 10 minutes, and then I'm going to cast roughly where I cast it again. I didn't hook it, so it might be possible to get another take from it. Plus, it's rare for one fish to come in on its own, so yeah, get 10 minutes and then we'll get back in and see if we can get something to happen. But it's made it worth coming, to be honest, just to see a salmon. Well, I've got a salmon on now. You can see that. I think it's a salmon anyway. Oh, it's gone off. Bloody hell. Oh, gutted. Gutted. Not know if you saw it splash. I had it on for about a minute, just less than a minute. Oh. And if that were that one I saw, probably were. Oh. When they splash like that, they don't often come off. Come straight to the top and started splashing. Well, I've seen one and I've hooked one, but that's not too bad. Next level will be to get one out. I'm going to go back up to the top and my fish is down again. This bottom part of the pool anyway. But that were definitely hooked, so I'm not going to hook that one again. Now I've just come back to the fishing hut to lick my wounds, if you like. I've definitely found well, one salmon, if not a small shoal. So I'm just going to have a quick cup of tea, try and warm my hands up because I can't feel my fingers, and then I'm going to go back down and run through it again with the spinner. I might actually change my plans. I weren't going to fish this particular beat tomorrow. I was going to go on a different river, but because it looks like there is salmon in this pool, bottom of this pool, I might as well try and book on and have another go if I don't get one today. But the first one, I've been casting constantly, and then as you're getting into the shallows you're hitting rocks, and I thought I'd hit a rock, looked down and saw the salmon directly behind me spinner, but it actually touched the spinner, I think, but not hooked itself. So that swum round and away, and then 10 minutes later I hooked the other salmon further out. Could have been the same salmon, who knows, and had it on for about a minute. Came up splashed, which is, as I said, it's a sure sign when they come straight up splash. If they go deep and they're fighting, you're alright. If you come up and splash, it often seems to mean that they're not very well hooked. But it's a treble hook, you would have thought it could have been. But anyway, so that's a little bit of excitement. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can get booked on again for tomorrow, and I'll fish in the morning. Well, I don't really fish till just after lunchtime, and then, but I'll probably bring the fly rod down and put a fly through it as well. So anyway, I'll come back on if I have any more incidents with fish or whatever. It's gutting. It's gutting when you lose fish. I mean, full season last year we out. I mean, I didn't fish very often, to be honest, for salmon, and the conditions were rubbish. And then yesterday was the first time I fished blanked, fished for 6 hours roughly. And then today I fished all day, and then I lose one. Fingers crossed we can get them. Well, I remember last hour on this other pool at the top. Still on Flying Sea. This is a lovely pool. It's on this height. You could get salmon anywhere. To be honest, I think there might even be still be borderline running water. So. Yeah, it's the only problem is you tend to lose a lot of spinners on here. I'm trying to keep it relatively high in the water. I'm not letting it come round like a fly like I would in a deeper stretch. So it's I'm working it to keep it high. It's very difficult to judge, to be honest. But as usual, just fan casting, pick a point on the far bank and aim for that, and then just move down the pool. This bit's more like a run than a pull, but there's a deeper side. There's a deeper stretch just on end of the rod tip, which holds salmon in the summer. I've had salmon in the summer close to the edge. But yeah, so this will be the end of day 2 of the trip up. It's the wind keeps coming and going. It was blowing a gale 10 minutes ago now, and I'd given up any thoughts of doing another bit to the camera, but it's died off now. So it's very changeable, the weather though. There's still a lot of rain on the way. So we'll probably sign out now, although I'm going to probably continue for another 20 minutes, half an hour, just down this pool. I think there is a lie just at the bottom off from that bush. I don't know if you can see towards the middle that I've had salmon from, so I'll cover that, and then we'll get back to you tomorrow if it's not too wet. Alright. Well, it's the third day now. It's been raining quite heavily this morning. It's just about stopped now. So I booked on the same beat again. I cancelled the beat I was going to be on the promise of the couple of salmon that we saw. So, not sure whether we'll be successful, but let's to try. Got a red shrimp fly on. I've got enough in the line now. I don't have a fasten on the bottom now. Got a heavy sinking leader on, so this is not ideal because it's dropped, to be honest. I should have brought my other setup, but I didn't expect it to be low. I expected it to be up the rivers. I brought my skagit rod and skagit setup, which is way too heavy for this level now. You can only bring so much gear. Struggling with this line now. Better. I'm having to work the fly quite fast because the weight of this sink tip, to be honest. I wouldn't work it as fast as this. I know, not anything in the bottom. I am quite sheltered because of these trees from this side. The breeze is still in the middle. Yeah, catching the bottom quite a lot, the boulders. It's one of the lightest skagit leaders I've got on. It's still heavy for this flow. Well, there's still not any sign of any fish. Just about from start about 3 hours now. Still a bit breezy, but it's brightened up a bit. So a bit faster this bit of water, which is a lot easier with the skagit. Yeah, I'm not stopping much longer now. Enjoyed it though. Had a break, nice change. Got a few more trips planned, so well, we're back where I think we first started yesterday. Different method, obviously. Still that horrible wind. Downstream wind. Last 10 minutes before I hit the road. About 3 hour journey roughly, unless I stop. About 3 hours. until next time. Well, I think the next salmon fishing will be on the River Cree. We get good conditions, might get a springer on there. Can't really move down the river here, just on a rock, just keep lengthening the line. I think this is last cast then on this trip. So we'll see you next time.